Welcome back to my channel. I'm Beth Morgan, the Poor Valley Princess, and today is January the 6th, Old Christmas. Around the world, this day is known as Epiphany, but here in the Appalachian Mountains, today is celebrated as Old Christmas. And so I thought today it would be fun to talk about some of the traditions that lead up to Old Christmas through the holiday season here in my part of Appalachia. So first, let's talk about some traditions that are still prevalent here in the mountains where I live. Some things that we do leading up to Christmas. We love to go Christmas caroling. There's lots of different songs that we sing. Silent Night, Away in the Manger, Joy to the World, O Little Town of Bethlehem, O Beautiful Star. Lots of different songs. So we love to go Christmas caroling. That's a fun one. We do that with our church quite often. Another tradition that is popular in our area, or it was, especially when I was younger, was receiving treat bags at church. Often this would happen when we had our Christmas play, or maybe on Christmas Sunday morning, we would receive, as we went out the door, a brown paper bag filled with an orange, an apple, a stick of peppermint candy, maybe a chocolate bar, and some candies. We always look forward to these treat bags every Christmas. And that tradition still goes on at my church. The deacons make treat bags and give them out on the Sunday before Christmas. And it's something that we all look forward to. I asked my mom one time why we always got an orange and apple in our stocking, and she laughed and replied that when she was young, fruit was really not something that they could get easily in this area. And so at Christmas, they always received some sort of fruit, usually an apple and an orange, as a treat because it was something that they didn't get often, and that tradition had just been passed down through the generations. My dad actually told me the story once of how he received his first orange and how he had 5 brothers and sisters, and the 6 of them had peeled that orange and shared the slices together and just thought it was heaven. We have a hard time imagining not having access to fresh fruits and vegetables all year long, but here in Appalachia, that was not something that was prevalent in the 50s and even up into the early 60s. So we do still kind of hang on to that tradition here a little bit in rural Appalachia. I love to send Christmas cards to my friends and family members and coworkers, but I will say that since the invention of email and Facebook and social media, people don't send Christmas cards in our area like we used to, and so that is a tradition that I'm afraid is dying off. But it is fun. I do love to still send Christmas cards. And this year, instead of hanging them on the doorway, which is what I've always done, we just redid our kitchen, and so this year I decided to hang them on the stair banister. And so I'll insert a video of that so you can see what that ended up looking like. Loved it, actually. Other traditions for Christmas include special foods. So many of us in this area make Christmas candies, things like peanut butter balls, Oreo balls, peanut butter roll candy, lots of different things. My mother loves to make the hard candy, which is just boiled sugar, flavored with different flavors, cinnamon and orange and spearmint, lots of different things. And a favorite dessert is apple stack cake. That's one that is often made around the holidays in this area, and I will post a link to a video of how to make the apple stack cake here so you can see that if you wish. We love the apple stack cake. So there's lots of different foods involved. We love to decorate with greenery. around the home, and live Christmas trees are still a big deal. When I was young, my dad would take my sister and I up in the mountain behind our house, and we would pick out the tallest pine tree that we could find that we thought had a really nice top in it, and he would cut it down, and we would cut the top out and drag that home where my mom would have a bucket full of rocks, and we would prop that tree up in that bucket full of rocks and cover it with a blanket, and that would be our Christmas tree for the years. Unfortunately, as I got older, a beetle came through and destroyed a lot of the pine trees in our area, and my mom decided that she wanted to start buying a tree, and so that's when we started going to neighboring areas and purchasing live trees. And I've always had a live tree until this year. This is my first year not having a live tree, so I'm actually enjoying the fake tree this year. And here's another reason why. Always before December 26th, Christmas came down. But this year, thanks to the fact that I don't have a real tree, I am celebrating old Christmas with my actual tree still up for the first time. So that's kind of fun as well. After Christmas, we do move into celebrating the new year. And for my family, we go to a family member's and play games and eat, watch the ball drop, and count the new year in together as a family, which is fun. But when I was younger, we actually always attended a watch night service at our church. The whole congregation would get together about 7 or 8 o'clock, and we would have singing, and the pastor would bring the message. And then after that, we would all gather in the fellowship hall where everyone would bring just potluck, whatever, and we would eat and fellowship with each other. And then as it neared midnight, we would gather in a huge circle, join hands. Sometimes we would have candles. We would light candles and go around the circle and just tell how we had been blessed by God through the year. And then as the clock rang midnight, we would sing Amazing Grace, which was always just a beautiful way to bring in the new year. Hard for me because I have a hard time staying up past 9 o'clock, but it was a fun way to bring in the new year growing up. And so that tradition is still held by a few churches in our area, but not like it was when I was young. So that was a fun one to bring in the new year. Other New Year traditions include food. Now, my papa, he was insistent that on New Year's, especially New Year's Day, you would eat black-eyed peas, hog's jowl, greens, kraut. These were all things that were created or thought to bring different aspects of luck into your life. So if you ate black-eyed peas, you were supposed to have good luck for the year. If you had hog jowl, then you were moving forward in your life. So you were making things move forward. You weren't gonna get stuck in anything. If you ate greens, then you were bringing money into your life. If you ate cornbread, then you would bring gold into your life. And so the tradition was that if you did not eat these things, then you were wishing bad luck upon yourself for the year. We did have some of this year ourselves. Even though I'm not a big fan of black-eyed peas, we did have a dinner of the traditional things this year. So we'll see if it makes any difference. Other New Year's traditions and superstitions include today's Old Christmas. So it's been 12 days since December the 25th. And on this day, you are not to do anything like sweeping or taking out the trash, because this is going to bring you bad luck. So you could sweep someone out of your life if you were to do that today. Or if you did laundry today, then you were washing the luck out of your life, or even washing someone out of your life. And so today, no cleaning, no doing laundry, no taking out the trash, none of that. None of that goes on Old Christmas. There's lots of stories around the holidays in the Appalachians, but I want to share with you today a book by Alex Stewart. This is a gentleman who actually is from an area not far from me, and I love this record of his life. That was done by John Rice Irwin. So if you are looking for a good read this holiday, you can get this on Amazon. It's called Alex Stewart, Portrait of a Pioneer. Let me read for you just a little excerpt about what he says about Christmas and Old Christmas in the Appalachians. This is a direct quote as an interview in the book from Alex Stewart. The first Christmas tree ever I knowed of was put up by the Presbyterians who had come in here and built a church house down on Blackwater. I was about 10 years old and nobody had ever seen such before. The people just went crazy about it. Miss Axel, one of the Presbyterian missionaries, got me to make her a lot of toys to put on that tree, little pistols and things like that. And oh, the stuff she put on that tree for me for doing that. A knife, a French harp that liked to have tickled me to death. The interviewer asks, the children weren't accustomed to getting presents? Alex Stewart answers, the first present I ever remember Pap getting us for Christmas was a little candy and an orange. I'll never forget that. I wasn't over 4 or 5 years old. I saved that candy and just took a little bite off of it every once in a while. I don't know how long it lasted me, and they didn't have no decorations along back then. That come in later on. On a very few occasions I had heard references made to Old Christmas, but no one, not even those older than Alex, seemed to know anything about it. I asked him if he had heard of Old Christmas, and he responded as follows. On Old Christmas night at 12 o'clock, you go to where there's any cattle, and you go and sit down and listen at 'em pray. I tried that twice. The first time, it like to have scared me to death. They got to going on so that I broke and run back to the house. But I got to studying about it, and then I tried it again. Me and my oldest sister went together on one old Christmas night. We went to the barn and sat down and waited till 12 o'clock. Just slipped up right easy and didn't make no racket. We had 2 milk cows, and directly they commenced. Just moo, moo, and groaning and going on, and we got scared and ran back to the house. Grandpa Pap Stewart told me that they'd do that, but I didn't believe it. And after I'd tried it twice, I saw there was something to it. And I don't care how cold it is or how deep the ground is froze. Elder bushes will sprout out of the ground on an old Christmas night. They'll sprout out that night and they'll never get no bigger till the sap rises in the spring of the year. If you don't believe me, you find you a place where there's a bunch of elders growing, and you look around underneath the bushes the night before Old Christmas, and you won't see any sprouts. Then you go back the next morning and you'll see them sprouts a-peeping through the ground everywhere. Don't matter how hard the ground is froze, I've checked that out. And I don't know at the times. I don't ever loan anything to anybody. If you can help it, don't do it on Old Christmas, because you're apt to not get it back. And so this is from the book, Alex Stewart, and a little bit of what he said. And I love the story of how the animals would talk and pray on Old Christmas. We loved, when my kids were little, the story, the little cartoon story, Annabelle's Wish, which is based on that old superstition that the animals would talk on Old Christmas at midnight. So that kind of rings true for us. We love that story. So there's a lot of different superstitions and traditions that go along with Old Christmas and just the holidays in general here in Appalachia. So from me to you, I am wishing you a very happy Old Christmas. And don't forget, don't do any washing, don't do any laundry, don't do any sweeping, and certainly don't take out the trash. We want to keep everyone in our lives this year and keep our luck going strong. So, happy Old Christmas. See you next time here on The Poor Valley Princess.